Welcome back to City Scene. We are out on location in good company today, talking about the environment. We've got Owen Burney. Owen, how are you, sir?
I'm great.
Appreciate you coming on the show. And Hugh Cox, how are you?
Thank you.
From our Environmental Advisory Commission. And today we're talking about underground storage tanks, or USTs. And underground storage tanks, guys, I usually think of these as like at dry cleaners or gas stations, but it's bigger than that, isn't it?
Yes, there's several residents around our city here. And we are here today just to make the public aware of underground storage tanks.
Why is underground storage tank a problem that you need to make folks aware of it?
Money.
Money.
For instance, this house is for sale, and after it's for sale, someone discovered there was an underground tank. That presents all kinds of problems. For instance, a lending institution may not finance it. There may be contamination in the ground, for which that begins a series of lawsuits and other things. We're told that in August of this year, North Carolina changed their rules so that now the homeowner has to pay a $2,000 deductible to the state to get contamination removed. But the homeowner also has to pay for the removal of the tank, which runs another couple of thousand, I guess, on the average. I'm not sure of that price, and I'm sure it varies.
Wow, how big of a problem is this? You're a home builder. How many folks have this in the city?
Well, it's mainly in older homes, houses built before 1970, early 70s, and back. A lot of people had oil heat in the homes, and they had heaters under the house. So, when they began to move to gas heat, that eliminated the underground storage tank problem. But, for a lot of the older homes in our city, there are, several homes that had these tanks remaining in the yard. A lot of times the owner will cut the spouts off and fill the tanks full of sand. And, this is what we're trying to eliminate in our city, because it's affecting our environment and affecting our water table.
Now, if folks don't fill them up with sand, what do you do with the leftover oil if you're trying to get rid of the tank?
That's what has to be taken care of by the state, because that's a pollutant, toxin in the ground, and it flows to the nearest streams, ditches, and so on, and ends up in the Tar River. And I think that's fair enough to say. And Owen and I have talked about this. We are estimating there may be as many as 10,000 of these tanks still in Greenville that are either unattended, maybe the homeowners don't know anything about it, or they just assume that, well, it's okay.
Well, if like you mentioned, the owners who have gotten other heating pumped into their house have cut off those pipes so you can't see where they would refill those tanks, how would someone know that there's a tank there?
Well, me as a contractor, I would know, because I basically look at the whole area, and you know that if a house was built before 1970, you can expect that there probably is an underground storage tank. So basically what I normally do is, when I go onto a property, I look for areas where you see the grass dead, like you can't get grass to grow, it's empty spot there. You kind of say, well, and it's closer proximity to the home, because they normally put these tanks probably within the first 20 feet from the home. So they're very close to the home. So if you see an area that's close by the home, no trees blocking the sunlight, and there's brown grass there, then probably you have an underground storage tank.
So how do you get rid of them?
Okay, this is what the company is doing right behind us now today. They're in the process of removing this underground storage tank, and once they remove all the contamination, then they have to truck this off to a contaminated landfill that's going to properly process the soil to make sure that it's clean.
So this is not something that I could do. I'd have to hire a specialist to do this kind of thing.
Right, and you'd want a certificate from the company. There are companies here in Greenville, usually found in the Yellow Pages under Environment, and then they give you a certification that this has been removed and that there is no contamination left. And that's usually what's needed in order to sell the house, or to, let's assume that even the house is conveyed in some other way, perhaps in a will or something like that. When you start looking to make a change in ownership, that's when we find these things for the most part.
Wow. Is there anything that we've missed out that you guys wanted to talk about? Because we've talked about this so much now. I feel like I know all about it, but now I'm thinking, did we cover everything that we wanted to get through to people? I mean, they may not know. If it's an older house, there's a good chance it is, and they really need to contact the right people, the right contractors, kind of contractors who can dispose of this properly.
Well, I would say that the one thing that we all need to realize is that we have one environment, and if we don't take care of that environment, then it won't be here for anybody else. So, you know, we need to, not just because we want to do it because this is the law, but we need to do it because we want to do it because it's the environment that we're protecting. Because all of this oil or fuel that's left in the tank, even if you don't have any fuel in the tank and the tanks begin to get full with water, then that water converts into the oil residue, and that also leaks into the oil, into the soil. So we have to make sure that we protect this environment because we won't get another one. This is it.
It's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing to do.
And that you mentioned before the dead grass and stuff. I guess also if you go out in your backyard and you kind of smell gas, but you don't have gas, that might be another clue that you got one of these that may have filled up with water.
And one of the things that Owen has mentioned in the past too is that some people who were trying to be perhaps secretive about it would patio over it.
Oh.
Right.
And so that's another place to look, is underneath these patios if you don't find it otherwise. And so every one of these drills, one of these augers is what they use to try to fan things with, and they can do it at an angle and so on. This is, as Owen says, this is terrifically important to making sure that children are safe, pets are safe, and that ultimately what we drink out of the Tar River is safe.
Okay. Well, if people want to get more involved and want to become a part of the EAC, the Environmental Advisory Commission, when do you guys meet and where?
First Thursday night at 5:30 p.m. at Public Works.
Or on 1500 Beatty Street. So it might be a good step for them to come out to one of your meetings and then try to get involved and then maybe eventually serve on the commission too, right?
Yeah, and we have a subcommittee of that called the Greenville Climate Protection Partnership. And we found that we're looking for people to be on that, and that's always a good stepping stone sometimes to be on the commission. And so we'd love to have people be a part of GCPP because we've done projects here. One of the ones we started working on was a sustainability plan. Not too long in the future, we're coming up again on doing the Horizons plan, which is done, I think, every 10 years.
Yep, the land use plan. That's right. That's right. All right. And if people have any other questions and want to or forgot when it's going to be, you can always call City Hall at 329-CITY, and we'll get you the information about the commission as well. Hugh, thank you very much. Owen,
thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Always appreciate talking to you guys.